Jericho Sims trade rumors are heating up as the New York Knicks. It's become basically a sure thing that they're going to trade him at the trade deadline, with Mitchell Robinson expected to be back in, from what I've seen, as the second week of February, and we're going to break this all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest Happy Hour. The first two people to ever start this thing. Matt, we are back. It is good to be back. Running the happy hour game as awesome. As always, I'm reading Charlie Nix's comments and catching the word awesome in there. Look, Jericho Sims is going to get traded, Matt. It's a guarantee. I'm giving a Chris guarantee. A Chris Knicks Digest guarantee right now. Jericho Sims is going to get moved. What's up, Knicks fan 13? And on top of that, what we're going to see is him probably get moved in what I expect for it to be just a second-round pick and nothing more. I don't think the Knicks want to play in return. I think they want to open $2 million up and sign Chuma Okiki out of the G League because they cannot afford TJ Warren yet, though in March contracts change around and then they could add him too. And then the Knicks effectively trade Jericho Sims for two wing players to give them some more depth. And they might work out another trade to try to bring someone in externally from another team. I'm really excited to break this down. You guys got us for an hour, so hit us with your questions. What do you guys want to hear Matt and I talk about, obviously outside of Jericho Sims? And on top of that, we will discuss Mitch, just because, as Charlie already mentioned it. Look, Mitch is staying. He's not getting traded at the deadline. I can promise you that. Mitchell Robinson is not going to get moved, and Jericho Sims is, which I think most Knicks fans should probably be happy about that outcome. And also, on top of that, we have Sheikh Luga saying, trade Jericho Sims for Jonathan Isaac. Well, that does not work contractually, though it would be interesting and obviously better for the team. What up, Charlie? Hope all is well with you as well. But Matt, here we are. We're back.
Chris, yeah, you've been talking about activating TJ Warren for a little while here. So it looks like you might have been right directly on top of that, looking at the rumors coming out about the New York Knicks' interest in, playing their guy.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think TJ Warren deserves a shot. The man's putting up nearly 25 points per game in the G League. And last season, he had terrible numbers, but he only played 10 games on the Timberwolves, and he was getting garbage time minutes. I think the man has more than earned a chance with the New York Knicks, even if it's just on a 10-day contract. If they give him rotational minutes to a degree, they should try to see if Warren can answer some problems. Because if nothing else, he gives you an excuse to not have to overuse Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby as much, because TJ's 6'8". He can play the small forward. He can play the power forward position. The big fear about TJ Warren, more than anything, is his health and that consistency to hit the three ball. The defense is solid. The mid-range is great. The interior scoring is good. It's really just about, can he stay healthy and can he have a consistent three? And as of right now, where TJ Warren is, he's shooting around 36% in the G League. So we've seen some success there. So I think it's worth giving TJ a shot. I'd also like to give Chuma Okiki a shot because he's a good 3-and-D guy. Man's defense is very good. It's always been very good. The question is, can his shooting catch on? And in the G League this season, he's averaging around 38% from three. So what we're seeing is just a revamped version of Chuma Okiki as well. It feels like there's these two guys who think they belong in the NBA, and they're playing like they deserve to be there. They're putting up similar numbers to guys like Tyler Kolek and Moses Brown, who have been in the NBA and are clearly as well too good for the G League.
All right, Chris. So Knicks fan 13 is asking about, he's asked about the thumbnail. Are there any rumors to where Jericho Sims might be going?
I think so when the odds came out from, I want to say Odds Shark or something that wasn't like DraftKings or FanDuel, somewhere that's worse.
Wait. So before your prediction of where he's going to go, are there any rumors? Like, you can say no. Are there any rumors on where he's going to go?
Any rumors? I mean, Knicks insider James Edwards mentioned the Pelicans potentially as a landing spot, and they had the second highest odds. I don't know why the Brooklyn Nets have the top odds for that. I think the Pelicans are a rumored team. The Houston Rockets were rumored by Ian Begley for a bit to show interest in them, especially because the Rockets' big man situation is just weird. They have a few different guys, but Jabari Smith feels like, well, a draft bust, but also a power forward. And did you see the wall-to-wall ballet?
Yeah, he finally got me. It's been a couple of weeks. I've been waiting for him to actually roast me.
Than him saying for me, I just take it off as just white supremacy.
that was hilarious.
That was the first one.
That was funnier.
That was funny. That was
And then
hilarious.
Darrielle's was kind of mean.
Yeah, we won't repeat that one. That was just an ass move.
That was so
That was
bad.
rude.
Extremely,
dude, he commented
extremely.
on his videos too. I was like, yo, relax.
Yeah.
I saw it, dude.
Hey.
I go to check the most recent comments. I'm just like, stop. Why are you doing this?
Dude, the big community, it's a gift and a curse. It's a gift way, way, way more often than it's a curse, but it goes both ways sometimes.
Because you get guys like Charlie Nix who are just the goat.
Oh my god. Charlie Nix, I gotta say what's up to Charlie Nix. He called me on the chat. What up, Charlie Nix?
He's the man. It's why he's our mod. As he mentioned, one concern I want to bring up that I've noticed over the past 5 games so far, it feels like guys are on many, many plays aren't on the same page, and it's a few times it's shown as clear frustration. I do think the Knicks are having an issue there. I think there's just this long adjustment period. When you think about last year's Knicks team compared to this one, it feels like we're just watching 2 completely different teams. Like
I agree with that. It feels like this team. I want to know if you agree or disagree with this. This team for me is a lot less fun to watch than they were last year, even if their record at this point of the season is better than it was last year. When you said that last week on Happy Hour, I was shocked to hear that because it feels like it feels like I just watch a lot of losing games. I know they don't lose a lot of games, but it just feels worse for whatever reason. And maybe that's because the team was new last year, so it was more exciting. But when they lost last year, it felt like they were fighting and clawing tooth and nail every single game that they lost. And then there were games where they blew people out. This year, to me, they don't look as dominant, and it scares me honestly for the playoffs going forwards. Last week I talked about how, they haven't beaten the top teams, so I'm not going to talk about that again. But I am a little bit worried about the championship, readiness of this roster.
I think they're better built to win an NBA championship. Sorry, I got distracted because whenever I use any sort of alliteration into the microphone, I think of the Vikings thing. But why do you even ponder passing? That's just burned into my brain forever. But no, I think they are better built to win an NBA Finals with this roster. I think the reason why it's less fun, because I'll agree, I think it's a little less fun. It feels like this team has less soul. Like it feels like there's a tectonic shift, and it's
completely agree, because I think this team, and maybe this just comes with higher expectations, this team feels like when they win, it's like, oh, we expected them to win, so it doesn't feel good. And when they lose, you're just thinking, oh, we should not have lost that game. Where last season, every time they won, and when they traded for OG Anunoby and went on that crazy winning streak, it was like that Vince McMahon meme where his smile keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Like that's what it felt like last year. And I watched every single game last year. Every single game. Like if there was a Knicks game, there was nothing else I ever wanted to do than watch those Knicks games. But this year it doesn't feel like that. So I do think a lot of it is how many new fresh faces there are on this team still meshing together, and definitely the lack of bench players because like we said, they keep doing these. They keep doing 2-for-1 trades is what I'm going to call them because that's basically what they are. I understand they're not as simple because Chris, whenever we're doing YouTube videos or live streams, I always feel the need to second guess myself and always got to double check everything I'm saying because there's always a time where you will say just the littlest thing wrong and everyone knows what you're saying, but that one nasty commenter comes out of nowhere and just goes crazy on you for that one little mistake. But yeah, no, they're 2-for-1 deals. Dude, you have said Eric Bieniemy's name correctly 1,000 times, and then we're in a video and you call him Eric behind me. I'm like, is this guy doing it on purpose?
I think no, on Yankees Digest, I just tell people that I'm purposely doing it. Now I just don't look up the pronunciation of names. I do for Knicks, for Yankees and Jets. I'm like, it's now a running joke. I'm just gonna not learn how to pronounce names and just guess.
So I actually got called out today. The guy Moogie or whatever, Moogie.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't believe that's how you pronounce his name. I hate that so much.
Moogie?
Yeah, it's Moo. It's Moo. No, it's Moo as in cow. Gee.
Okay, that's what I said. Okay.
Yeah. No, you said it properly. I heard that. You said it properly.
I thought I was calling him Moogie or or that was his name. But hey, he's probably gonna be the Jets GM. All
Dude,
right, but back
QR, we are definitely missing iHart bad. Hartenstein would be a perfect player for this team right now.
That's the thing. That's the shift is a lot of the soul of this team got moved. Hartenstein left because the Knicks couldn't afford him. friggin' Emmanuel quickly, if you want to date it farther back, he was a big soul part of this team. And then specifically, Dante and Julius were two heart and soul guys. And don't get me wrong, you still have Josh Hart, you have Cameron Payne, who replicates that as well. And as Knicks fan 13 mentioned, respect to Cameron Payne, that man has been balling out. I mean, I liked the signing, and I still find it as a pleasant surprise how good he's been. But on top of that, something that I think we're seeing is, like, we know Jalen Brunson's going to have this heart and soul of the Knicks energy because he's the captain of the New York Knicks. It's like you see that, and it's like whenever he says something so perfect, it's not even surprising. Like, so I was at the Knicks-Bucks game. That was the game that my friend, shout out to James from Let's Talk Knicks. Him and I have known each other for a bit, and he got hooked up with some tickets to a suite, and he brought myself and a friend of ours, who used to be our editor at Daily Knicks back in the days, back when Daily Knicks and Fansided were, a respectable group. But I'm taking shots. They fired me.
I know. That's what Knicks Digest Happy Hour is for, the shots being taken.
Yeah. If only we had shots to take right now, though, then that would get out of hand.
Chris, is there a team where Jericho Sims could make a real difference if he was their starting center?
I would love his fit in Charlotte. I think the ball movement would be great. The way he rolls off screens with LaMelo, rim running. So
correct me if I'm wrong. Brandon Miller, forward for the Charlotte Hornets out for the season, right?
Yes.
So they're certainly. I understand they already were tanking, but they're going to go deeper into the tank here. Is Jericho Sims, if you were the Charlotte Hornets manager or GM, would you be interested in trading a second-round pick for Jericho Sims to see what he pans out to be?
I might slap a little protection on it. Like,
how much?
A little one. Like top 40. So, like, if it's anywhere from pick 41 to 60, I'd do that. I think he'd be fun with LaMelo. Jericho needs somewhere that allows to throw lobs. The Knicks don't throw a lot of lobs. Like, it's just the case when you have a lefty point guard who's shorter and not a great athlete in Jalen Brunson. I don't know why that just sounded like I just roasted the greatest player since Patrick Ewing. I didn't mean it like that. But when you have a guy who's Jalen Brunson's style, there's just not a lot of lobs thrown. And, I mean, the Knicks' biggest lob thrower for a while was R.J. Barrett. R.J.'s favorite pass was lobbing it to Mitchell Robinson. But we don't see a ton of lobs. We see him sometimes, but not too often. I think Jericho needs to go to a team where he gets consistent minutes and he gets some lobs.
Yeah, Logan Maz is talking my language right now. Jericho Sims from Mark Williams. Obviously, the Charlotte Hornets would not do that, but I love getting any of the Dookies you can bring to the Knicks. Let's get it done.
I forgot Mark Williams went to Duke. But something that Charlie mentioned, which I think he's absolutely correct about, one of the other reasons why this season has been a little, like, I don't even want to say underwhelming, but just like why the team's a little less exciting, is, to put it in exactly his words, also we have such high expectations for our team this year specifically, so it's easy to overshadow how good they are actually, and especially sitting at almost the second seed in the regular season. The Knicks are very low-key. Look, the schedule's about, or the standings are about to come up on the screen. The Knicks are very close to the Celtics. I mean, they're 2 games back from the Boston Celtics. They're having a phenomenal year. We've gotten used to good Knicks basketball. For the first time in... Matt, we were both born in 2001. This is the first time in our lives where we're not literally in middle school, where we can, and even then, that was like a moment because it was the 7th seed. They were like 7th, 2nd or something like that, or maybe 8th, 7th, 2nd. They were good for like a split. Now we've seen 4 seed, missed the playoffs, 4 seed, 2 seed, 3 seed. We're getting used to the Knicks being good to when we see, even if we see a logo, a team like the Pistons, who got a lot better this year, who are a very respectable NBA team, who are 6th in the Eastern Conference right now, who deserve to be a playoff team and who will be a playoff team. When I just see the Pistons logo, I'm like, the Knicks better win this. I know it's not fair because the Pistons are just getting good now, but I definitely felt that. I know other fans definitely felt that way about the Knicks. I'd see the Knicks playing like a team that was good in 2021, like you see them go play the Lakers, who were the reigning champions. Like, well, the Knicks are screwed. You see them play a team that's just even solid. It's like, oh, the Knicks aren't going to win this. I know they're doing well now, but the Knicks had this MO for so long of being good at the start of seasons and then being like a top 4 seed till like December and then falling off a cliff. Tibbs changed that, and obviously that didn't happen under Fizdale. He was a terrible head coach, and also the rosters were just so bad. There was nothing anyone could have done to stop it. then Julius Randle existed, and having Tibbs as a head coach helped, and we haven't seen that as much. We're getting used to the Knicks being good. They've missed the playoffs once in the 2020s. I guess twice, because they missed it in 2020 as well. But they're just better than they've ever been since Y2K. So it's just this weird moment.
Yeah, tell me if you agree with this. Watching the first 5 games of this season, I sat down watching the games. I was thinking, man, I miss playoff basketball. And like, I wish I could watch that, because there really is no better feeling when it's a series where the team's up like 2-0 against Philly, or up 3-1 to the Cavaliers. Like, that's a really good feeling, because every single game feels like it matters a lot more. I feel like maybe this season, each and every game doesn't feel like they matter as much, because the Knicks are locks for the playoffs. So with 81 games in the season, like, it's just every game matters less. Like, they don't. There's not one game that the Knicks have to win.
I also think the Knicks are realizing that, like the players. I think we're seeing a team that now knows no matter what, they're going to be in the playoffs. So maybe take it a little bit easy and wait for the playoffs. I think they're starting to get a little coasty going. Just a little
but
bit
those minutes do not scream we're a lock for the playoffs.
The players are. Yeah, the minutes thing scares me, and if this were the playoffs, I'd be all for those minutes. I think you should play your best players 40 minutes a night in the playoffs. I truly do. It's 16 games. Or not 16 games, but like, you have to win 16 games. Suck it up and deal with it. You're professional athletes. You can do it. Less so bigger guys. Like Towns, he could cap out at 36, 37. That's fine with me. Brunson, he does a lot. I'd rather him not play 40, but 38, 39 minutes, especially when you have guys like Payne and Deuce there, and even Josh Hart, who could kind of play point guard to a degree. Like, you don't need to play Brunson the 44 minutes per game that he was playing. But, like, guys like McHale, I want to see McHale play 40 minutes a night in the playoffs. I want to see Josh Hart play 40 minutes a night in the playoffs. They just equal winning basketball, and especially in the playoffs, we've seen McHale go to an NBA Finals. We've seen Josh Hart be Josh Hart. Like, those guys, I think, should play 40 minutes. I think it should be an eight-man rotation in the playoffs. But this is not the playoffs. This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl. But as Charlie Nick said, Chris wants Zion! Because I did that Zion video, and I said multiple times, like, hey, before this video starts, I'm not advocating for a Zion Williamson trade. I'm just saying the Zion rumors came back for a little bit.
So, yeah, from an NBA watcher perspective and a Knicks fan perspective, I understand trading for Zion's a bad idea. However, as a Duke fan and as Zion being my favorite player to ever play for Duke, I think it would be a lot of fun to watch. However, this Knicks team has been a lot of fun to watch for the past couple of years, and I'm more excited for playoff wins. So I'm on your side. I guess I actually don't know your stance on this. I don't want them to trade for Zion.
Yeah, I don't want to see them. There's no one to trade for Zion.
So I heard a report last week that Zion's trade market his trade value is only about a first-round pick. Is that too low, or is that what he's worth?
I think that's a fake. I think it's the Pelicans. Now this has zero. I'll be so real. I don't know what's going on with the Pelicans that much. I'm not locked in on the bottom of the Western Conference. I will say, I would guess, just from my experience of covering NBA and trades, I would guess the Pelicans leaked that to a source that wasn't New Orleans specific media, so they could essentially have teams like start to maybe highball them, like be like, oh, if Zion's worth one first round pick to the Pelicans, let's ensure that we get him and throw another second round pick. At first glance, you hear that, it's like, why would the Pelicans want to tank Zion's value? They're not. They're trying to
induce a trade offer.
They're trying to induce a trade offer that's higher than what they value it by convincing a team. Because they probably are like, no, we'd rather 2 second-round picks. But a team goes up and says, hey, we'll give you X player on expiring contract and this valuable first-round pick. And they're like, we need another first. And they're like, but the reports to that, it's like, yeah, well, that report was wrong. Even if they leaked it, it's basically using reverse psychology to inflate Zion's value, which does make some sense. Because if someone sees, think about the headline of the New Orleans Pelicans are asking for 3 first-round picks for Zion. A team's going to look at that and be like, well, we want Zion, but the problem is we don't want to pay all that for Zion, someone who has not been healthy, We don't want to give that. We give maybe 2. So you say you want 1, and then you say, well, we have a bunch of offers that are better for that. We would need more. And essentially the Pelicans just lie their way into a bigger offer that's what their actual target is. That would be my guess on what the Pelicans are doing right now. I think the Pelicans are not the greatest franchise also, so I'm not saying it's a genius strategy. That's my guess based off what I've seen with trades. As Jay Heisler, our Jericho Sims enthusiast, mentions here, Chris thinks he can get Zion for Sims. I mean, I'd do that trade. You got to trade off. You got to turn off financial trade rules though to do that. So if we could do that.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not 2K. Yeah, I mean, so just real quick, I do want to hear your thought on this. You're the Zion when he's healthy, he's averaging 25.5 points per game, something in that ballpark. Going to be like 12.6 rebounds. What is his trade value? If you are the Pelicans, what would you trade him for?
I would still hold Zion in very high regard because I don't see a point in selling low. I just don't see the purpose in it.
All right, I'm the Houston Rockets. I call the phone. I'll give you 2 first-round picks for Zion Williamson. They're both top 5 protected, and they're expected to be anywhere from pick 10 to pick 20. Are you taking that deal if you're the Pelicans?
Obviously, there needs to be cap filler, and off the dome,
Let's pretend there's the most perfect bit of cap filler ever.
Perfect. Okay.
Yes.
I would ask for Jabari Smith. I'd say screw it.
So no, the offer is too low. You're not getting enough value back for Zion Williamson.
I value Zion, I think, higher than a lot of people do because the thought is, well, he's always injured. Yeah, but he also never wanted to be in New Orleans. So if I'm the Pelicans, I'm like, well, I don't believe that this guy is constantly injured. I think one of the problems is that he wants to play basketball. Unfortunately, he's a big guy and first of all, Zion Williamson is not fat at all. He's just not a fat person. He
has done better with his weight, but he's not doing good enough. For an NBA player, he's not doing good enough.
I don't think the Pelicans are a high-class organization. I think that's the problem.
I hope we have no diehard Pelicans fans in our chat, because what I'm about to say, I think it's obvious that they're not a high-class organization, and that's okay. Not everyone can be.
Matt, I don't know the names of these people, but it's the owner of the Saints who owns the Pelicans. I don't know.
Oh, really? He owns them too?
Yes. Bought that. The Saints owners, they bought off the Pelicans from the NBA after the owners of the Pelicans, who were then the Hornets, went bankrupt and had to sell the team back to the NBA. Saints bought them. So it's under the same branch. It's like how Reinsdorf owns the White Sox and the Bulls. It's the same thing.
Yeah, so one thing I do want to make clear to the chat, Zion Williamson wants to be in New York. His eating problem would get fixed. It wouldn't get worse in New York City. So I see people in the chat worried about, he's going to eat more if he comes to New York City because the food here is better than New Orleans. He's going to fix it. He wanted to be here. You saw that on the lottery night. His face dropped. Absolutely hit the floor when it was announced that he was going to be going to the New Orleans Pelicans and not the New York Knicks.
It looked like someone told him he was going to the WNBA.
It looked like someone told him he was going to the Pelicans.
Yeah. It did.
Did your hat just fall off?
Yeah. I went all the way back and hit my chair. No, it did. That's honestly what it looked like. It was just a nightmare situation for Zion Williamson. He didn't want to go there. They had the 9th odds. None of them were thinking about New Orleans at all. They were all thinking about New York. I guess the Lakers, it wasn't possible because the protection on the pick. Memphis, which Zion I don't think really wanted to go to, but Memphis has been a solid organization. As we've seen, they rebuilt so fast with Ja, and now they're dealing with a bunch of injury issues. But the
media was pushing Zion, KD, Kyrie, the Knicks so hard.
It's actually insane how the Knicks signing Julius, Bobby Portis, Taj Gibson, Elfrid Payton, and Marcus Morris ended up better for the Knicks.
Do you think it's definitely better? I think that core could win a championship. If maybe Zion stays healthy in New York.
I think it could have, don't get me wrong. But based off the way that it just went so horribly wrong for the Nets, and it was so injury-based, I also think one of the biggest problems for the Nets is that they made that trade for James Harden. They shouldn't have traded for Harden. They had enough cooks in the kitchen. Kyrie and KD would have flourished fluidly the way that we see Luka and Kyrie doing it. And Luka and Kyrie is way more similar to Harden and Kyrie, but you have Kyrie and another great scorer. It works. It's very fluid. 3. Oh, God.
No, I'm just reading this comment. Neither of you guys have obviously eaten no cuisine. You'll gain weight just by looking at it.
Dude, I mean, I to this day, I saw someone call Zion the Jumbo Gumbo, dude. Dude, it's insane. Like, Charlie Nix agreed. No, dude, it's really insane.
All right, Chris, I'm hearing a lot about Titan. Is that Al or AI? I think it's Titan Al. He's talking about a guy that I heard a lot about today in potential Knicks trades. Isaiah Stewart out of the Detroit Pistons.
You have to trade Mitchell Robinson to get that done, and James Edwards of The Athletic has been pushing that all season long. Now, there's some methods to it. He's healthier. That's a good one. That's, like, helpful. He's a little
he almost saved that baby that was crawling across the court.
Oh, my God. Dude, I think it'd be a nice, like, energy guy for the Knicks. I don't love undersized centers, personally. He can play the 4, which is fun. I think
6'8",
Mitchell Robinson
right?
solves. What's up?
6'8"?
Yeah, 6'8", 6'9". I'd rather just keep Mitchell Robinson at this rate. I think Mitch is going to come back, and I know the thought as well, he's just going to come back and get injured again. He's only gotten a re-injury once, and it's because he came back hurt. Like, he was limping all the time since he came back. He came back early because the Knicks needed him, and he was great for them. But, like, he got injured again. Now they're waiting till he's fully healthy. I think we're going to see Mitch be healthy during this run. He's also lost 40 pounds. Like, the man is thin. I think I don't know if I released that video or if I'm dropping that video, but there's a video I made on it with a little clip from Mitch dancing around.
Yeah, dude, oh my God. Your Jets video is doing really well right now. But when it comes to Mitchell Robinson, I personally, I can't trust him. If you gave me a good out like Isaiah Stewart, I think I would have to take it.
I want someone who more mirrors Mitchell Robinson personally. I want a 7-footer. I want a true 7-foot rim protector. I don't want an undersized one. I just think that's what the Knicks could use more than anything else right now is some sort. Benson is dead. Oh my God, you're right. The wife does own the Pelicans and the Saints now. But yeah, I think where everything's at with the Knicks. With what I don't remember what we're talking about. I'm pretending like
I don't remember what we're talking about
right,
either. I'm looking at
precious propaganda while we try to remember.
All right. Can I talk over it or is it okay? No, well, I didn't know if it had sound attached to it. I'm just looking at Dwayne Lewis's comment here. I won't take picks for anybody. Sims is not fundamentally sound. I'm on his side. If someone gives me, I would trade Jericho Sims for a 2nd-round pick if
Absolutely,
we got.
I would as well.
Yeah, because. Just worst case scenario, you re-roll him into another, another center. And then I'm looking at the precious. I'm looking at it right now on stream.
It's pretty great.
That is pretty great. What's going on behind him?
Some march or something. It's some march thing in Canada. I think it's Canada.
Oh, okay. I was worried it was a more nefarious march.
No. This is Canada. We're talking
I mean, I don't know what goes on behind your green screen, bro. Don't look at me like that.
Well, Ben Rogers of Raptors Die just made that for the Raptors and then just put a blue tint instead of the red tint on it and sent it over to me.
It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic.
Dude, it's great. We got some great ones in here. Once you disappear in 6 minutes and I'm inviting you back, I'm just gonna spam them with random with random things.
Random
maybe I'll
effects.
Just turn you into Dariel.
No, don't do that. Please don't do that.
Right up there. I want Kessler and Sexton. Well, you can't have Kessler and Sexton.
I want Kessler bad. Obviously, everyone
Kessler
wants Walker
also.
Kessler. Is Walker Kessler the number one realistic trade option? I understand he's on the fringe of realistic, but is he the number one realistic trade option for the Knicks?
He's not realistic at all. There's no way they move him. I don't think there's a world where the Jazz trade Walker Kessler. I think he's having a better season. The big fear is Kessler plateauing after his rookie year. The answer is no.
I would have taken the plateau. He is...
Same.
Man, isn't he? I swear. I just looked at the blocks per game, and he's at 2.6.
Yeah, it's nearly 3.
2.6, second in the NBA, behind only one person. Do you know who the NBA's leader in blocks is, Chris?
I'm pretty sure if I had to guess, it's Bacom Dadier. He leads every stat. Oh, no. I got my French people mixed up. It's Wemby.
Dude, do you know how many blocks he averages?
Yeah, 4, right?
4.
Yeah.
That's not even fair.
Yeah, the guy.
Like,
the guy's
is he
insane.
just gonna? Is he about to win 7 Defensive Players of the Year awards
Probably.
in a row?
I
And
guess.
also, in 2 more years, when they get him some real players around him, is anyone gonna be able to touch the Spurs?
I have no idea.
Like
I
that
just
team.
don't know. Team's so good, dude.
Is it gonna go back? Is the NBA about to go back to the Western Conference Finals, being the NBA Finals with the Oklahoma City Thunder after they transfer all those first-round picks into a superstar to add to Chet Holmgren and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? It's just gonna be Oklahoma City versus San Antonio, right?
Stein contract is real tradable.
I mean,
That
well, you
Hartenstein
know
contract.
who might not be an MVP center in the East who may not be on his team for a long time here, Chris?
Who's that?
Joel Embiid.
Oh, he still plays in the NBA. That's true.
Yeah.
He's got my name.
As far as MVP candidates go, he's pretty tradable.
He's pretty tradable at this point. I mean, the funny thing about the 76ers is they're so bad, and they've put themselves in a position where they're just screwed in every sense of the word, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. You're talking about the Phoenix Suns? Screwed in every sense of the word, the Phoenix Suns?
No, I'm talking about the Suns East to the Philadelphia
Yeah,
76ers.
dude.
Just
Let's
3
talk-
all-stars. One of them's really good, a young guard, and the other ones are old.
Oh, I forgot Paul George. Does he count as an all-star still?
No, Paul George puts up 16 points per game. The man showed up to Philly and he's like, guys, guess what? I'm so washed. Thanks for the money. Also, shout out to 76ers fans who were like, haha, the Knicks give up 5 picks for Mikal Bridges when we signed Paul George. Well, Mikal's way better than Paul George, and so is OG. And frankly, Josh Hart's better than Paul George.
Chris,
Honestly.
am I crazy or am I not crazy if I told you Tyrese Maxey was the best player on the Philadelphia 76ers?
This season, he 1,000% is. There's no question. Embiid's played 13 games. He's got my left knee. Like, he's destroyed. I think we've seen Joel Embiid leave his prime. I think it's over. Like, he's still the same player talent-wise. I think that knee is cooked, dude.
I mean, yeah. Once you know what they say about this sport, not any other sport. Once the lights go out once, it's just easier for them to go out again.
Oh, yeah. Literally in MMA.
That is NBA basketball.
Sims has a hive. Yes, there is the Sims hive. Obviously, there's the Sims hive. Want to know who'd be great? Isaiah Hartenstein. Yeah, he'd be pretty phenomenal.
He would be perfect. Paul George needs to retire to be a full-time podcaster. According to Paul George, podcasting is harder than playing in the NBA. Well, that's because
effectively what we're doing right now, Matt. And I'll tell you one thing. I just ate a sandwich before this, so it's not harder.
I mean, maybe when it comes to podcasting, you can't being tall doesn't matter and like physical gifts don't matter as much, but like that is an absurd statement. I
Matt,
guess
isn't it harder to talk with your friends than play professional sports?
I mean, he's done both, so who are we to call him out?
Good point.
But Chris, talk about the NBA trade deadline. Did you see that the Suns Jazz trade?
Oh, yeah. I loved that for the Jazz. That was a genius.
Yeah. Dude, that's
Shredded
something I would do in
yeah.
Dynasty Fantasy Football. You identify the really, really bad manager, and you go out and give me your first round pick. And they go, well, I already traded my pick this year. I'm like, okay, give me your next one. I don't have that either. Next one. What can you give me? 2031.
First round pick you could possibly give us for, and your team's a garbage heap because you guys have no other choice but to try to go deep. Like, the Suns are in this weird position where they have no choice but to keep digging themselves deeper into a hole to see if hopefully they come out the other side. But, like, I mean, I guess the West is a little more manageable for them this season.
I mean, it's manageable for now. The Oklahoma City, they're not playing with Chet Holmgren right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Once
think
he
the Suns
comes
are doing
back.
anything.
What'd you say?
I don't think the Suns are going to do anything, but I think the West is more manageable for them this year because the Timberwolves are an awful matchup for the Suns. It's why they got smacked up and down. But it's
yeah, but you
get Jimmy Butler,
can't forget that stat. Of any combination of 3 players, the worst plus minus between any 3 players in the playoffs last year: Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker.
Yeah, they probably shouldn't have put 3 ISO scorers on the same team. I feel like
How is that possible, Chris? You know what they need? They need another scorer. Let's add Grayson Allen to that team.
Let's have him be their fourth. They also could use a scoring center. Let's put Nurkic, a guy who can't play defense. Also, you're about to disappear, so I'm going to have to invite you back to a Zoom. Because, guys, we don't pay for Zoom Premium here. We don't have that type of money.
We don't get enough super chats for Zoom Premium.
We don't get enough super chats from you guys to pay the very cheap price that Zoom Premium is.
Yeah, we're not begging for super chats. We're just saying we're not paying. Isn't it $15 for Zoom Premium?
Yeah, dude. Someone super chat me $15 right now, and I'll buy Zoom Premium, so I don't have to invite Matt back to the Zoom in the middle of the stream. Except Precious can't jump. All right, I'm gonna read these comments while we invite Matt back. All right, Embiid's on the decline. Philly missed their moment. They absolutely did. Sims paying that mortgage. We are the New York Knicks. What up, Senora Montarat? Get rid of Mitchell. I think they will get rid of Mitchell Robinson. I think the thing is they're just waiting for a bit. Like, they're just waiting for Mitch for a bit. Like, they want him to play long enough to where his trade value goes back up. And that makes perfect sense if you're the Knicks. And I think they're doing the 1,000% right thing by doing that. I think they should absolutely wait till the offseason when Mitchell Robinson comes back. And then once he does, or once he's come back, God, my screen looks awful right now. And this, I'm gonna throw something up after this point to make. Can we keep it more Knicks focused? Yeah, we can turn it more to the Knicks. All right, Matt, we're getting asked to make it more Knicks focused, which is fair.
That's a good question.
Wants it to be Knicks focused, so we could run that. We could actually talk about the Knicks.
That's a good question.
Wait,
this is Knicks Digest? I thought this was Courtside Digest. My bad.
Yeah, for the first time in 40 minutes, let's talk about the New York Knicks. All right.
Okay, I want to talk about Precious Achiuwa and why I think trading Precious Achiuwa, unless you're not getting a guaranteed better upgrade off of Precious Achiuwa, I think trading him would hurt the camaraderie between the players and would hurt the team chemistry on the team. You don't have an answer for that?
For a sec. All right, now that we've done the Precious propaganda again, because you were just pushing it, I'll push them as well. I agree. I think with Towns and Precious, that duo has been very successful together. Their plus-minus has been awesome. I don't know off the top of my head, but they've had a great plus-minus together. They've been a really, really good duo, and I like the idea of trading him, but at the same time, I also am fine with them keeping him because he could play either the 4 or the 5, which most cannot do. And I think it works. I like the defense. I like both the on-ball and the low block defense, averaging 0.8 blocks and 0.8 steals per game. So he's good at both levels of defense. And on top of that, he just gives that good energy that the Knicks could use. He's an energy guy. Every team needs one of those. And he's a fine player to have off the bench. I think once he moves to power forward full time, because the Knicks will have Mitchell Robinson and Karl-Anthony Towns, so Precious can always play on the floor with one of them, I think we're going to see Precious do even better. I like him as a power forward. I know he can't shoot, but when you have him out there with Towns, that literally doesn't matter at all. So I do want to see them keep Precious because I think he helps, unless they could make an upgrade for him. But I think Mitch is coming back, so I don't feel the need to trade Precious for, like, a Nick Richards, who obviously they can't trade him for anymore. But, like, it makes no sense now to trade Precious for a backup center because Mitch is coming back. So unless you're trading him for a backup forward who's more of a small forward, power forward, and can score on the ISO, that would be helpful. But outside of that, I don't see a need to trade for Precious or to trade Precious Achiuwa. Nobody trading for the player they could have gotten for dirt cheap in the offseason. What team would take Precious? I think a lot of teams would actually.
That's a good no. I like his point. The league has shown us that his value isn't perceived to be very high. I think Precious has more value to the New York Knicks because he has shown us that he's a scheme fit for the Knicks. He's gonna do what they want to do, and he's the type of player that we're looking for. Someone, like you said, good for steals and blocks. He has active hands, effort on the defense. One of the number one things that we're looking for out of our bench is effort. Every Tom Thibodeau coach team wants to see effort. Precious Achiuwa has effort everywhere. I really like him. I like his interviews. I like Precious Achiuwa. And we will not be silenced. That was your cue for the Precious propaganda.
The props. But look, I agree. I would rather see Precious stick around at this point. I think it makes sense. I think there's a time and a place for a guy like Precious Achiuwa, and it's with a team that has an elite shooting big man, and the Knicks have the best one of those. And also the man in I have the hiccups in Game 5 of the first round of the playoffs. He held Joel Embiid to 1 point in the fourth quarter and blocked him on a 3 attempt, and that was super electric. I think Precious has earned a spot. Ow. Just hit my finger.
Stop hitting your hurt finger with your other hand, Chris.
Yeah, I need to move.
Stop doing it. Okay. Chris, you've mentioned in the past that can you explain to me, we talk about why we need a rim protector. Can you explain to me why Tom Thibodeau doesn't like playing rookies? And specifically in the case of why are we not seeing more Ariel Hukpory?
The Knicks want to pay Hukpory long term for low money, and they don't want Hukpory to play so well that his value rises. So I think that's actually the main reason.
But if he plays well and they don't, so they have him for this year and next year, correct? Then he's a free agent?
Yeah, but it's a team option on this year. It's a non-guaranteed deal. I think they'll waive him or not waive him. They'll decline his
They're going to decline the option and then sign him longer term to a small contract after this year.
Yes.
And then they'll start him and they'll think they'll have a good player on a team-friendly contract. That's your plan?
That is my guess on what the New York Knicks will do with Precious Achiuwa. Now, Matt, I need you to briefly run this down. I need to go get an ice pack for my finger because it's time to ice my fractured hand.
Okay. All right. Chris Gallagher has fractured his hand because he was playing basketball. We all know that's code for something else, most likely. Someone asked me some questions in the comments here. I don't have Chris to ask random questions to. Huck doesn't know how to defend in the NBA yet. He would foul out, get a bunch of blocks, but foul out constantly. Yeah, he's not fully ready for a full-time starting role. Of course, I agree with that. I'm a fan of where he is in this stage of his career, but we have to remember he's still a rookie. He's got things to learn. I think he's earned more minutes than he's getting, but Tom Thibodeau is not going to play the rookies. We know this.
I agree.
When Chris live streams, what'd you say?
I agree with the comment. He doesn't know how to defend in the NBA. He doesn't ice screens, and that's what.
Yeah, no, I was agreeing with the comment as well.
I do say New York Knicks less here.
Well, yeah. Well, it's something when you're doing videos like this and creating content like this, you don't want to use pronouns because you don't want people to not know who or what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So when you're talking, it's just I guess I don't know who I'm giving tips to here because I know you know that. Sims lacks mental fortitude. Interesting. Yeah. There's a full-blown fight going on in the comment section right now. Are you witnessing this, Chris?
I'm trying to see who the person who I see the one comment. I'm trying to see who he's talking to.
No, they think so. Nick's 100 a game said so. Is it Jay Heisler and Nick's 100 a game against each other?
No, Heisler's not doing anything. He's just hanging out.
All right. I'm not
Jericho Sims guy. I think he is Jericho Sims.
That would be pretty awesome if it was Jericho Sims.
It's just Jericho in here just hearing us talk about how he's going to get traded. So, but yeah. Someone asked you if you've heard about the 40-20 rule to win a championship. Do you know what that is?
Obviously. I wouldn't be on this live stream if I didn't know what the 40-20 rule was, Chris. 40-20 rule is a theory in basketball that states if a team is a true now, I did look up the definition because I thought it'd be funny and it wasn't that funny. I guess it kind of just came across like I didn't know what it was. I've heard of it. I didn't know Phil Jackson was the one who invented it. But you've told me about that years ago. I remember remember the New Dorm sophomore year?
I remember the New Dorm.
Yeah, that's when you told me about the 40-20 rule.
Trade Sims for Herb Funkus?
Is that a real player?
No.
Herb Funkus.
Not that I know of. I'm heading to the Pels and I'm gonna be paying Jay Heisler's mortgage.
Oh my goodness, Chris!
That looks like he smells the fabric softeners at Target.
I saw that and I don't know. That one's like kind of funny. I will say.
So I find it funny.
What'd you say?
I said I've just been to Target with you a bunch, so I just find it funny. I don't remember smelling fabric softener.
I don't think I did that.
Did on those solo adventures.
Jonas is all right, Chris. Who would you rather have on the New York Knicks? Throw
Mitch.
all the money. Throw all the money away. Mitch over
Mitch.
Jonas Valanciunas.
Yes, Mitch can play defense.
Dude, Jonas Valanciunas can stay healthy.
I believe in Mitch. I believe in him.
I mean, dude, I don't want to.
I also want to save Mitch for a better trade. Like he's a trade.
I don't want to. I don't want to have to say bad things about Mitchell Robinson. So I'm just gonna leave it at his injury history. If you tell me I got to be right or wrong, and I'm gonna get in trouble if I'm wrong, I would have to say I don't think he's gonna be healthy. I hope he's gonna be healthy, and there's a possibility that he is healthy, but his history has told me that he won't be.
Sims invented the Tide Pod Challenge. Jonas is better than Mitch. I think Jonas is far better on offense, but I think Mitch is a better defender, and I want the defense. I think that's what matters more to this Knicks team than having an offensive big man. That's personally what I would do there. If you ask me. All right.
Chris, what happened to your finger?
I got fouled playing basketball and I fractured it. It's not. I heard you. I have my headphones and I hear what you're saying out there. Yeah.
I heard you were playing NBA 2K and you smashed your controller into your own hand.
I actually don't play 2K as much as I used to, unfortunately. Play now online got ruined, so I don't really play it anymore.
Yeah, I'm with Ian Cardillo right here. He says, we don't want to be left with nothing if Mitch gets injured at the beginning of the playoffs. I'm all on board with that. If we're going to have to play him a lot of minutes in the playoffs, the way I see it, if we make the championship, if we make the NBA Finals, he's probably going to be injured some point during the run, and he's not going to be ready for the most important series of the whole thing.
Yeah, but you could say that about anyone. Like, there's plenty of injury-prone guys who go into the playoffs, and the Knicks just need some sort of rim protection. I don't think they're going to find that at the deadline, personally.
Do you see Charlie Nick's comment?
I don't want to do it. I really don't.
We'll give you a pass tonight because you're injured.
Yeah. It actually does hurt to put stuff on because I have to, like, be careful.
Honestly, a duo Knicks happy hour, we probably should have brought back the jerseys for today.
Well, if my hand worked.
Okay, Charlie Nicks.
Be all careful.
Charlie Nicks, you hear that? So next time when Chris's hand is healthy and it's just me and him, we will figure out some sort of Knicks Chris Gallagher jersey challenge. It's going to be like the cupcake challenge from Eric Andre, if you're familiar with that.
I'm just going to bike through a store.
Every 50 viewers we have concurrently, Chris will drive into the storefront, an extra storefront, and try to sell them cupcakes.
I'll be live streamed from my car. I'll do one of them and then go to jail. I'm like, no, it's a prank. They're like, yeah, you just caused $100,000 worth of damage and killed someone. I'm like,
dude, Knicks Digest happy hours. Be like,
it's
no
happy hour. You
way, dude.
And they're like, oh, okay, dude, you're free to go. Jonas would make us 2 starting 5s. I just don't think that Jonas fits on the Knicks. I want someone who can play defense. Jonas is not a great defender.
No, Jonas is a center for teams looking for a center who can play offense and a center who can shoot. The Knicks are, if you list out all 30 NBA teams, number 1 desperately needs that. Number 30 doesn't need it at all. The Knicks are number 30.
Yeah.
And the Boston Celtics are 29 with Kristaps Porzingis.
They just don't need it. I think a team like the Lakers makes sense, to be honest. I don't think the Knicks really make a ton of sense.
Dude, what are the Lakers gonna? So LeBron James is not gonna win a championship with this Lakers team.
I don't think so.
What is he still doing on the Lakers?
I don't think he wants to move.
I mean, okay, how many years do you think he has left?
I think this one, next one, maybe one more after that. I think he wants to get to 23 seasons, but if he does season 24, I imagine he'll do 25. So anywhere between next one could be his last. If not, he'll probably do 25 seasons just to say he did it. That's my guess. On Branch. Chris literally every day gets you all running off to him about Knicks status. That's true. Me and my 10,800 subscribers just.
No. You're too bad. You can't make that joke. It's too big. You can't make a joke like that, Chris. When we have like 200 subscribers, then it's funny. Now it just sounds 10,000 is pretty good, Chris. Give yourself a pat on the back.
I'm pretty proud of myself. I did a lot of
I mean, it's nothing like your Jets channel. You have like 2,500 subscribers. It's so embarrassing.
Jets Digest. What the hell? Trade Jazz. Mitchell Robinson, Deuce McBride, Precious Achiuwa, Knicks receive Sexton, Kessler, and Svi. The Utah Jazz hang up in our face.
Svi Mikhailuk. Yeah,
Just
the
being Knicks
Utah
fans.
Jazz, I mean, you have to think the asking price on the phone is 2 first-round picks plus for Walker Kessler.
I think it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what it has to be. Reports are teams are calling on him, and the asking price is really high. So I think the trade rumors around Walker Kessler have been perpetrated by the media, not by actual NBA GMs talking to each other, and then reporters leaking those talks. It's the media wants it to happen. And I don't understand why the Jazz would trade Walker Kessler because he's a young, budding, real solid role player. So that's the type of player that every single team needs to win a championship unless you're the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah. Also, just something funny that happened. Charlie next just commented Knicks regular season record will be 56-25. It's not Charlie, buddy. That's not exactly accurate, man. That it's a little too many games. It's 91 games.
No, it's not.
56 plus 25.
That's not 91 games.
No, it's not at all, dude. Just lied right to the camera.
Dude, he nailed it, bro. What are you talking about? He nailed it.
56 plus 20. Oh, 76. Hey, it's 81. I'm still right. 81.
I mean, I'm the person who said there were 81 games in the season earlier.
It's not Charlie's fault. I'm really bad at math. Thank you for the congratulations, Charlie. It was hard work, and it was a really good moment seeing that happen. It was truly just a rush like no other. Wow, Matt, your screen was awesome right there. Your body disappeared into the green screen, so it was just your head. There it is. Yeah.
I don't think the stream sees that. I think just you see that on Zoom.
I'm looking at it on the stream camera. I'm looking on the OBS screen. I'm not looking at you.
Oh, never mind then.
Knicks are on pace to be a contender to win 11 out of their 14 games. That's the thing. If the Knicks hit the 40-20 rule, they just have to win 11 out of their 14 games. It's the Knicks. They could easily go 11-3. Like, I honestly kind of expect them to, if we're being honest. Like,
I agree with you what you said earlier. It does feel like this team is holding back. Like they could. You're saying they know they're going to go to the playoffs, so they're not playing as well as they could be.
yeah, I think they're kind of understanding that they're playing a ton of minutes and they're taking it a little bit easier than they have in past years, which I'm completely cool with. I think the Knicks are going to be good. I think the biggest thing is it feels like it's going to be Knicks Celtics in the second round. The Cavs are going to get that.
So the Cavs are getting the 1 seed. Put that on ice.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Boston Celtics or the New York Knicks. More likely the Boston Celtics than the New York Knicks. So the Knicks would have to play someone. I guess that gives us as a 3 seed. That would give us the 6 seed. Who do we like in the 6 seed? Is that just good? That's going to be the best team out of that group of just mid. The Pacers, the Heat, the Hawks. One of those teams.
Yeah, I think Orlando will jump back up.
No. Orlando I got as my 4 seed. If not, they will be the 5 seed. They're getting healthier and they're playing well. They beat us with nobody. So they got guys who can ball. Paulo Banchero is a budding, maybe even superstar. Definitely a budding star. Maybe a superstar.
The Pistons will be near 6. The Hawks will be near 6.
I forgot about the Pistons. The Pistons, yeah, put that in the same tier of teams that I was talking about earlier.
I feel like the best way to do this is to mention the teams that are not going to make the play-in, so the bottom 11 through 15, so the bottom 5.
Okay.
So that's
Charlotte,
the Hornets,
Toronto,
the Wizards, the Raptors.
The Bulls are probably making the play-in, but losing in the play-in.
Yeah, the Nets will probably miss it because they're going to keep trading guys away. All right, we're about to see the standings. We're about to look at the standings on the screen, so that'll make things easier because they're about to restart. So
that's crazy. How about I just go ahead and look them up on my handy dandy telephone. So who are we missing? We're missing Milwaukee. They are number 4 currently, but do you think they're going to stay there?
Sticking around at 4. Giannis is so good. I'd rather them overtake
4,
us. I don't want to play Boston.
You think 4-5? 4-5 Bucks Magic in some combination?
I would. I'd say that.
Oh, the team we're forgetting, I think they're probably playing the 76ers.
I think
and then who's gonna drop out is gonna be the Miami Heat after they trade away Jimmy Butler.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives your play-in the Hawks, the 76ers. Man, bro, it's gross down there.
I think the Hawks will make it to the playoffs. Anyone can be 2 seed in the East. Yeah, I just don't want the Knicks. I want the Knicks to avoid that Celtics matchup as long as possible. Everyone knows the Celtics are the best team in the East anyway.
I would certainly, I understand they only have 7 losses, but I would certainly rather see Darius Garland and the Cleveland Cavaliers in the second round instead of the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's I think what we'll see is the
Yo, I can't wait for this take, dude. I'm sorry.
just reading the comments.
I know.
I think we'll see the Knicks probably finish as a 3rd seed. The Celtics is the 2nd seed. The Cavs is the 1st seed. I think we'll see some variation, as you said, of the Bucks and the Magic is the 4-5. I think the 6th seed will probably end up being Atlanta. I think Atlanta's going to play pretty well. I think 7 will be Indiana, and then 8 will be Philadelphia.
Dude, Philadelphia is playing the Cavaliers tonight. That is going to be a bloodbath. That's going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah. I think it will be as well. I think the 76ers are just bad. I think they'll figure it out in the playoffs. I think Embiid will come back, which I think is a huge part of things here. Like, I think we'll see him play consistently enough, at least in the now.
Well, Joel Embiid, he is certainly taking it easy. Like, I'm not saying he's not hurt. I'm sure he is hurt, but there are, I'm sure, some games where he could go and he decides not to play. I mean, dude, that talking about camaraderie and team chemistry, Sixers have to be one of the absolute worst teams in the league for that right now.
Oh, absolutely. It just feels like it's a
do you think they're the worst? They have the worst team chemistry of any team right now?
They probably do. I mean, look at Norman Powell, the whole addition by subtraction thing that's going on. The man's a damn near all-star this season, and it's all this, addition by subtraction because Paul George left. Like,
I mean, this is what happens on the 76ers. This is what happens when you get rid of your player from Long Island. Your team falls off a cliff.
Yeah, and Tobias is better this year than Paul George. Kind of
yeah, I mean, they had to get rid of Tobias, though. Oh, my goodness. That was the worst max contract in the league. He's now passed that torch on to Zach LaVine from Chicago.
True.
My goodness, what is Zach LaVine's trade value? I know not for the Knicks, but just for the sake of conversation, what is Zach LaVine's trade value? Are the Bulls even expecting a first-round pick in a trade for Zach LaVine?
I think because he's playing well, yes, but here's the thing. LaVine just came out and said he wants to stay with the Bulls.
Dude, I hope we don't have Bulls fans in the chat because I feel bad. The only thing worse than a team tanking is a team that needs to tank and doesn't know it. Yep.
They know Reinsdorf does not approve of tanking, which is funny because the Chicago White Sox just had the worst team in MLB history.
Does he own them too?
Yeah. White Sox and Bulls.
Man, these guys got money, huh?
These guys have money. Guys, we need a multi-billion-dollar super chat.
Charlie Knicks, get on that, please.
Charlie, if you could send us $3 million or $3 billion in a super chat, we're gonna buy the Knicks and change it to Knicks Digest Arena or Happy Hour Arena.
Madison Digest Garden.
Happy Hour Garden. Happy Hour Beer Garden is where the Knicks are gonna play from now on.
The Happy Hour Beer Garden. Oh man, that sounds amazing.
Us. So, Charlie, if you could send us a quick $3 billion through a super chat, that would help.
Dude, oh my goodness. And also, one more thing you feel bad for the Bulls. They got a top 5 pick, and they could take anyone in college outside those top 3 guys, and they go, oh, look at Florida State. Let's take a backup. Let's take their 6th man, Pat Williams. Like, what are you doing?
When they made that?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they were doing. I don't know.
Happy Hour Beer Garden.
Maybe that's why their GM gets paid more than I do, but like, oh my goodness. Like, that was not the shot. Like, Valentine, that was not the shot.
Oh my goodness.
Dude, they must have put all the names on a board, spun it, and threw a dart at it. Because they heard us talking about how outside the top 3, you just got to get lucky in the draft. And they said, you know what? Why not? Why not?
Talking in our friggin' dorm room.
Oh, yeah. We didn't even have any outlet at that point.
Yeah. I think OG is being mismanaged at the 4. I'd rather see him as a dominant 2. I'd rather him be kind of small forwarding.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely not a 2. He can't shoot well. I understand his corner 3-point percentage is good, but
Obviously, this season it's not great. It's like
yeah, but
34.
you know who like okay,
We know who he is
that's
from
this
there,
season.
though.
No,
We
we know
know
who
who
he
he
is from
is.
the
Yeah.
corner. We know who he is. Someone who's going to be injured, but when he's playing, he plays really well.
Yeah.
Dude, OG, I got to keep my mic away from him, but other than that, I love the guy.
Yeah, you
Love
gotta hold
having
the
him on the
mics.
Knicks.
But yeah, OG's the man. Does Cam deserve more minutes off the bench? Honestly, yeah, he definitely does. More than 10 to 15.
I mean,
He's
dude,
been
I
great.
I agree with you. I haven't seen Cam Reddish play a single minute off the bench all year.
And that's another episode of Happy Hour.
Dude, I want him
Comment down
back.
below.
Such a good trade though, getting Josh Hart for him, even though we gave it the first. Oh my
It's
goodness.
so worth it. It was protected first.
Dude, I remember I was in bed, I read it. Cam Reddish traded to. I'm like, no way. And I see the Knicks. I'm like, oh, we got him.
That was exciting as hell. That was when I failed my second driver's test. I had a few more fails after that, but we got there.
Fortunately, we got Cam Reddish.
Fortunately, we got Cam Reddish that day. Yeah, so we're gonna do this for like 10 more minutes. Then I have places to go, people to see.
Chris, where are you going?
Uh,
Exact location, please.
I will be going to a place. I thought I muted my mic with my chin right there. Believe I'm going to this bar called the Long Pour. So if you see me there,
So if anyone's in the New York City area, go to the Long Pour and look for a 5'4" dwarf looking fella, and it might be Chris Gallagher.
you see someone who looks exactly like Danny DeVito, you might be looking at me.
Yeah, except Chris is rounder than Danny DeVito. I know it doesn't look like it. I know you guys have seen him stand up on stream, but I promise you.
No, that's just CGI.
Yeah.
MB said to me, he said that I fractured my finger opening a can of EPO.
I don't know what that is.
EPO is steroids.
Oh.
It's what Colby Covington would call Usman when they were selling the fight. He's like, yeah, you're the CEO of EPO.
I mean, yeah. I've never heard of that. Yeah, okay, we're talking about OG's natural position. Okay, I'm sorry. I misread. The 2 is Bridges' natural position. OG's natural position is the 3.
I agree.
I thought someone was trying to argue that OG's natural position was the 2. I was going to push back on that, but you guys are absolutely got it nailed in the chat right now. Our team plays better with Payne. I'm sure Darielle would disagree, but I mean, wait, Payne over Mikal Bridges?
No, I just didn't, like, he should just play more, I think is the thought.
Yeah, but who does he play over?
He just takes some minutes away from the 40 minutes that Mikal Bridges plays.
Dude, we got to get these minutes down. We have to get these minutes down.
I think they will. Tibbs is moving towards a 9-man rotation, so they will cool down for a bit, I think. And that'll be helpful for the Knicks. I want to see the Knicks, not burn out. It's definitely terrifying.
I'm a little bit worried because I feel like I'm already seeing signs of burnout.
Yeah, same. I think Tibbs is also, and that's why they're going to kind of expand this rotation a little bit, which is definitely the move. Anyone vote for Josh in the All-Star? I mean, I'd vote for him. I'd just vote for the Knicks starting 5 when I'd vote for the All-Star game. But Josh Hart actually got the same amount of votes by players as Tyrese Halliburton.
Dude, remember the days where people were like, who's better, Tyrese Halliburton or Jalen Brunson?
That was funny. It's so funny that that worked out for us, too. It's like anytime it's like, who's better, this person or Jalen Brunson? Brunson just always proves us right. It's such a good feeling.
Dude, I really wanted Halliburton over Obi Toppin, but I'm happy the way things worked out. You will hear no complaints out of me. Let's go get a championship this year.
I believe. I think it won't be this year because it's the whole adjusting. Like to a true contender usually takes.
Oh, I agree with you. People like you gotta have real experience. This is obvious, but it's really difficult to win a championship, and it's not gonna happen overnight. It's probably not gonna happen in one off season either. I wish it could because the New York Knicks would love that, and I think New York Knicks fans deserve a championship more than the other 29. The other 29 teams. It's your call. It's your call.
Yeah, we'll go till We'll go till 7:10, then we'll wrap this thing up.
Yeah, I got to after this I got to work out, and then I got to be ready for 8:30 to rip some COD Zombies tonight. So,
Oh, guys,
yeah.
if you guys want to play Call of Duty Zombies with Matt, make sure to slide into his DMs and ask for his gamer tag. Yeah, I agree with Knicks 100 a game. We're just not finished building the roster yet, and that's fine. Like, it takes a bit of time, and I think next season the Knicks will have figured out. I think this season, in a lot of ways, is an evaluation because the Knicks have their core locked up for a good amount of time. So I think what we're seeing is an evaluation year where it's just the Knicks want to see what's missing and what the issues with this team are so they can address it in the offseason. Leon Rose is very good at addressing issues the New York Knicks have. He's been great at it for a while, basically since the Knicks arrived. I mean, the first issue he addressed is the fact that they were garbage, and he fixed that. And outside of that, he's just been able to address problems really, really well. So I do think that we're going to see the Knicks get better and better over this time. The only guy who's 30 on the team is Cameron Payne. Josh Hart turns 30 in a couple days, but like still, it's
he runs like he's 22.
Yeah, and it's like you look at the Knicks and they got time. They're not going to fall apart in the next 2-3 years, so they have time. I think this is more than anything. Obviously, like, hey, we could totally win the NBA Finals this year if the ball goes our way. People get hot at the right time. You never know. Injuries always happen. Maybe the Knicks, after getting terrible injury luck, will get some better luck. And not wishing injuries on other teams, but every team that wins the NBA Finals has benefited off some sort of injury luck. Maybe that falls the Knicks' way, and they just happen to find their way into the NBA Finals. Who knows? They obviously could. I think it's more this season what we're seeing is really an evaluation of talent, an evaluation of where the holes are, and basically just taking a look and seeing where all the issues are and where all the bright spots are. And essentially, they will figure that out come the off season. And I think they're going to be back, and I think they're going to be better over the next year or two after this one. We had a great draft.
Oh, I thought you were about to answer another comment
No, what's up?
I thought you were going to ask another question in the comments. First of all, Charlie Nix, give me your top 3 Zombies maps in the chat right now, please. But yeah, we need to build out this bench. And someone said it. Knicks 100 a game said it. We had a really good draft. Those guys could be the depth that we're looking for, but they're not ready this year.
Yeah, especially Bacombe is not ready. He turned 19 6 months ago. So
when I'm talking about the rookies, I'm not even thinking about him. I'm talking about Hukpory, and I'm thinking about Tyler Kolek.
Yeah. Also, Kevin McCullough Jr., who just was drafted 56th and still has not played because he's recovering from a knee injury. So I think we're going to see this all work out while we wait for Charlie Nix's Black Ops Zombies. Top 3 maps so Matt can see and make a quick comment on that. I like Cameron Payne on the Knicks, but obviously Tyler Kolek is gunning for that spot. So we're going to see what happens with that. I think a lot of different things could happen. He might be back for another year. He might leave in free agency. We'll see what happens there. I'm interested about what they're going to do because they're going to try to figure out a way so they could use that mid-level exception and not jump into that second apron. And if they do that, we'll get a good idea of what the Knicks are, what they were looking for and what they thought they were missing. And frankly, something that hasn't been missing is Leon Rose. That man does not miss. So It is really, really, I just trust the guy. Like literally whenever he makes a move now, I'm like, he's probably right. He's been right thus far.
Yeah, no, it's time to just blindly. I wish I wasn't going to say we're going to blindly trust him, but it's time to blindly trust him. The moves he's made, we were scared about the OG Anunoby trade, and we were disagreeing with the Karl Anthony Towns trades, but they're both working out wonderfully so far. And his free agent acquisitions are looking pretty good too. Love, he's doing a great job.
Yeah. Charlie just responded, I think. Yep. Matt, you can comment on that.
Yeah. Shangri-La is the last one you're talking about. Jungle is Shangri-La. Kino is my third favorite map of all time. Ascension's okay. It's kind of boring in my opinion. But if you haven't played, if Black Ops 1 is the only COD Zombies game you played, just wait till you play Black Ops 2.
Well, Matt, we did it. We did it, Matt. Another day, another Friday, another happy hour.
Oh, wait. Before we go, Chris.
Yeah.
There's no Knicks game tonight. But tomorrow, the Knicks are home versus the Sacramento Kings. What's the score going to be?
Knicks are going to win. It's going to be a high-scoring game. Knicks are going to win 127 to 114.
I was also thinking about 100, and I was also thinking about 4. Give me the Knicks 141, the Kings 140. Double overtime.
Banger game. Well, we'll see what happens, guys. But we're gonna wrap this thing up, guys. If you enjoyed the content, let us know down below. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. I can't wait to see Kevin McCullough either, but my computer's about to die and I have places to go. So we will catch you guys on the next live stream. Have a great day and go.